We've got David, Chris and Paul who've got their hands up. So we'll go to Dave first, Dave Maddock, then we'll go to Paul Joyce and we'll finish with Chris Bascom. So Dave.
Jurgen, you're probably unsurprised that there's been quite a lot of talk about the contract of Mo Salah this week. And I'm just, you kind of had that going on for, or it feels like a year already. I just wonder, would you want that resolved so you just don't have that noise anymore? And you know what the position is really, whether you're aware of whether there's any progress or any sort of resolution or end in sight to this whole what appears to be a saga.
Yeah, so I'm involved in pretty much everything in the club. Maybe some talks happen without me, that's possible, but apart from that, I know about all the things. So, and it's how it always is. We don't really speak about these kind of things. I know we changed that obviously a little bit with Hendo, but that doesn't mean we will talk from now on. Tell you about each little step we make in any kind of negotiation, stuff like this. Two things. Mo is obviously in a really, really good moment, football-wise, mood-wise. How he behaved from the first day when he came back, absolutely great. So we are all adults, we're all professionals. When there are talks, then there are talks. And when there's a decision, we will tell you. Until then, it's only important how the parties work together in these things. It's not about Mo, it's all in general. So if that's perfect, what it is, then we don't have to talk about anything else. Then the decisive people can talk in the background. But with 2 years left, you can imagine that there are talks. That's it.
Okay, Dave. Thank you, Dave. We'll go
Thank
to
you.
Paul Joyce, and then we'll finish with Chris. Paul.
Yeah, again, I was just hoping to speak to you a little bit about rotation. How easy is it or difficult is it to balance the rhythm of the individual, balance the rhythm of the team with making changes to get you through this season and challenge?
Look, that's how it is. Preseason is like that. You have 4, 5, 6 weeks. Some have only 2, 3. I know a few players. Then the season starts, and you have the first 2 weeks. We have 3 games. So Saturday, and then there's international break. That's now already like this for a few years, I think. Means not really the reason for rotation, stuff like that. So everybody in the preseason was played similar amount of minutes, all this kind of stuff. And then after then the international break comes this year with 3 games for some, which we obviously probably have to talk in a different moment about, but we have to talk about it. And then with coming back and playing again, and then all the problems start. When you play all 3 days, then it's not about giving rhythm here or there. Then it's about using all the sources you have, and it means use all the players you have to make it as likely as possible that you have a chance to win the next football game. So rotation happens more or less. It's not about really that you can change, because you only can change when they are all fit, when they are all available. That's a while ago that we had that problem. And so now it's not that difficult. It's just using all the sources you have.
So you don't, so you can't go into a season and say, I'm going to rotate more as a manager.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Then the reality shows you that's how it is. Yeah, of course. It's not. What about rotation? So in the moment when I think that different lineups give us opportunity to win the next game, why shouldn't I rotate?
Yeah,
makes no sense. I'm the one who says always we have too many games all the time. We have too many games. There are too many games now. 3 games from some countries in the next international break and this kind of stuff. So there are too many games for the players out there. So of course it makes sense to give different players more opportunities. That's how it is. But for that you need to have the opportunity first and foremost, and you need to think you can win the next game, because that's our first job to do. As we have to win pretty much all football games we play. So that's quite a task, I would say. And that's it.
Thank you.
And welcome back to Chris. to conclude the press conference?
I'm still here, yeah. Hi Jurgen. Just on Mo again, really. I don't know whether you're aware, he's on the brink of some extraordinary records, which is such wood.
Again?
Yeah, I mean, he's like 100 Premier League goals and 100 goals for Liverpool quicker than the likes of Ian Rush, Robbie Fowler, and Michael Owen. I mean, would you ever say to him, look, he could be the greatest of all Liverpool strikers in the records, or is that too individual a target for him to have? Because obviously it helps the team when he keeps on breaking these records. Or would that be just?
If I ever tell him, or what?
Yes, I mean, would you ever speak to him privately? If he stays the rest of his career at Liverpool on the rate he's scoring, he is going to probably be up there in the top 3 or 4, which is extraordinary, really, when you think of the players Liverpool have had.
I don't have to. He knows that. I'm always aware of all these things, so it's absolutely fine. I don't have. He enjoys the time here. That's how it is. But it's not. Breaking records is great, absolutely, and the records he broke already is absolutely insane. So I obviously didn't know last week when he scored the goal that it was now the first player in the history of the Premier League who scored in the first 5 in the first game in 5 consecutive seasons. It's absolutely. There's a reason why nobody did it. So it's really difficult. He did it. And if there are any records out there, he will know about it without changing it. He doesn't have to change his style. He just can play his football. When he plays his football, works as hard as he's doing, then or as hard as he does, then he will come in a situation where he can score. With his quality, he obviously will do that. If he has records, I think can set records in assists as well. So just being in the situation, being around the goal situations, that's Mo Salah. And I'm really happy that it's exactly like that. But I never told him that he could be one of the 1, 2, 3 biggest Liverpool legends ever, because that's nothing you go for. Records, yes, but becoming a legend is only people will judge you like that after your career probably, and that's fine. So no, he's good, in a good mood, and hopefully that can stay like this.
Have you ever worked with anyone with his hunger for goals before? Is it comparable to Lewandowski, for example, with that hunger for goals?
No, he is very hungry for goals. There's no doubt about that.
Thanks, Chris. And then we'll finish
Thank you.
with Andy Hunter from The Guardian to finish our press conference. Andy.
I think in the end I have a question on for all of you.
Can we take Andy's first?
Yeah. And I said in the end.
No, your question will be better than mine, honestly.
No, it won't, Andy.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Just in terms of Virgil's recovery, how important a step is it to face a team like Burnley? Because obviously it's not what he would have faced at Norwich, and it's not what he'd faced in training with his own team. Is this a little milestone in a way?
Maybe you say, what do you mean exactly with that? A team like Burnley?
Obviously a more physical and direct challenge to him personally, as well as to your team. He wouldn't have faced that at Norwich last week on his comeback, and doesn't get that in training with Liverpool.
No, all yeah, okay. Yeah. So all games have the same importance. Yes, it's a different. We obviously, even when we train, we don't train these kind of exactly runs or moves, but we do that in a similar way to prepare the boys for all the different things. And yeah, he should be prepared. But that's all about just doing it. It's not complete. It's not new for him, stuff like this. And he needs rhythm, obviously. And we try to give him that rhythm without overdoing it. That's it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So, and it's really a question. Do you remember the goal Brentford scored against Arsenal? The throw-in?
Yeah, they're on mute, boss. But yeah,
They're on mute?
yeah, they're on mute. So
Why? Okay, So was it a foul for you on Leno or not? Just I really want to learn. Was it a foul or not? Or you didn't watch it back?
I was on holiday. Sorry. I didn't see it.
You really didn't see it.
I've not seen it. Sorry, I was at the cricket last week, and I never saw the game. Maybe I'll watch it back. I'm not interested in Arsenal and Brentford as much as I should.
Ian Abrams has come back on. He looks like he's going to offer an opinion on behalf of the TalkSport audience.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a foul, but I think goalkeepers are overprotected anyway.
Sorry?
I said I didn't think it was a foul, but I think the goalkeepers are overprotected anyway from when you used to play, or when I used to watch football in the 70s and the 80s.
Nothing should be like in the 70s and the 80s, by the way. You don't want to drive the same car in the 70s and the 80s. That's not a good argument, Ian. Sorry, that's not the best.
No, you're right.
best
You're right.
argument
You're
I
right.
heard. So things develop. Okay, then okay, then I have to ask. The Burnley goal was a foul in your opinion or not? You don't watch football.
That I thought was a foul. I did think that was a foul on the goalkeeper. Yeah.
Looking at the Arsenal one, he's just the player's not fouled him. But he's blocked him. So
he's clipping his arm, doesn't he?
Does he? Right.
He's clipping Leno's arm. So okay, now only want to tell, because we have now in the season, we have the situation at the Premier League has on Thursdays always a meeting with the refs, and they had this meeting, and I just want to say that both goals from the refs' point of view were legal goals, but for the Burnley thing, it was the Tarkowski then foul, which I didn't challenge when he scored, which I didn't even see. I only want to watch it. It's just interesting. It's not about right or wrong. It's just interesting. We need clarification for these kind of things, because for all football people talking about the goal against Arsenal, obviously people like Ian and some others think then the goal is overprotected. But for all football people, it's a clear foul on Leno. Not for Ian and some others, and some don't watch it, and not for the referees. So that's just something what I thought we just have to know, because what's the goalie supposed to do? Take the player and put it to the left side, or where can he go? So it's a football question, not saying right or wrong. It's just a football question. We had in the first game these 2 goals, and both times people go for the goalie in the 6-yard box. And it's just an interesting thing to do. And there is a rule that in the 6-yard box, the goalie has to be protected. But when Ian thinks he's overprotected, then obviously there is different views on it. So just want to say there is space for discussion. Will be interesting. Will be interesting this season what happens there, because the poor guy is the guy in the goal. If he's not protected anymore in the 6-yard box, then it's a different game. But that's information. Now you have it as well. I got it yesterday, and now you have it as well.
Go on, Paul.
Did you raise that with the referees, that there should be the person in the 6-yard box should be protected, the goalkeeper?
No, I thought that's a rule. And I did raise that. I thought the 6-yard box protects the goal. In the 6-yard box, the goalie is protected, will be treated differently to other players. So that's how it is. That is a rule. That's why the 6-yard box is there. It's not only there for putting the ball on the edge and shoot it 500 yards. So that's just the goalie area. That's it. So all fine. Sorry to waste your time. Have a nice one.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Have a good day. Speak to you after the game.